the biggest threat to your heart, your brain, your metabolism is something you don't feel. It is not the pain, it is not the swelling, it is not the fever, but silent chronic inflammation. Low-grade, persistent, quietly damaging your tissues day after day. And here is the uncomfortable truth. You might be feeding on it every meal. What is this that you're doing? So today, we are going to look at some of the 2026 evidence which foods will truly reduce inflammation and which ones quietly fuel inflammation in your body. This may completely change how you look at your plate. So we are looking at anti-inflammatory food, and these are the ones that actually work as per the 2026 evidence. Hi, I'm Dr. Nderitu, a family physician. I have an interest in public health and cancer prevention and treatment. In this channel, we don't chase trends. We follow evidence and we break it down into simple steps that you can implement on a daily basis. So let's look at inflammation and we break it down clearly, calmly, and also practically in ways that you can implement it in your daily life. In one of the previous videos, I have talked about chronic inflammation and its impact on your health. It is important that I repeat what chronic inflammation is so that we move together. Inflammation is not the enemy itself, and the inflammation can be acute or chronic. Acute inflammation is what protects you. Like when you get a cut, then your body moves in, your immune response moves in, bringing in more cells to cut short the bleeding and also start the healing process. Immediately this happens. This is good inflammation. Now, this is what we call chronic inflammation. This is inflammation that is consistently building up in your body and silently building up, damaging your internal organs. It is subtle, it lingers, and it becomes systemic. So recent reviews have shown that in big meta-analysis that chronic inflammation is what leads to atherosclerosis, the blockage of your blood vessels. It is a risk factor to type 2 diabetes. It is a risk factor to a fatty liver. It is a major cause of neurodegeneration in your brain, and it is associated with more than 13 types of cancer. Markers like high sensitive creatinine, CRP are involved. Markers like interleukin 6, tumor necrosis alpha, and also these are the drivers of inflammation. And here is the key aspect. Diet strongly influences these markers. What you eat and what you don't eat. Not overnight, but consistently, slowly, and progressively. So let's look at some of the foods that you can eat and fight off this inflammation that is risk to your health, that drives the atherosclerosis, increases your risk of getting diabetes. So we will focus on evidence-based foods that will help you lower the inflammation in your body. The first good food that helps you to fight inflammation in your body is high fiber whole foods. Fiber, most of the times we think of it for digestion, preventing constipation. But the truth is, when your gut bacteria ferment fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acid, especially butyrate. And the butyrate reduces inflammatory signals. It strengthens the gut barrier, preventing a leaky gut. It also improves insulin sensitivity. The 2025-2026 scientific reviews confirms that high fiber intake is associated with lower levels of C-reactive protein and reduced cardiovascular risk. So local affordable sources for high fiber include beans, very readily available, lentils, very affordable, sukuma wiki, available everywhere, whole maize ugali, the ground maize flour, oats, fruits. So fiber is the foundation of anti-inflammation. Without it, the inflammatory pathways rise. So then the other anti-inflammatory food, the omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s have direct anti-inflammatory effects. They reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines, the CRPs, the interleukin alpha interferons, and then also improve endothelial functioning, reducing this process of atherosclerosis. They alter the lipid inflammatory lipid signaling. In large meta-analysis, they have shown that slow reduction in inflammatory markers, particularly in high-risk groups, helps to sustain and improve and protect your heart and your brain from this inflammatory process. Where do you get the omega-3s? Some types of fish, like salmon, sometimes the chia seeds, the flax seeds, and even the sardines. This is a type of fish. So aim for fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week where possible. Then we have the polyphenol-rich foods. These are powerful plant compounds. They reduce the oxidative stress, they dysregulate the inflammatory pathways, and they support gut microbial balance. Evidence links higher polyphenols intakes with lower C-reactive protein and the improved metabolic outcome. What are some of the sources of these polyphenols? We talk about berries of all types, green tea, the dark chocolate, where it is high in cocoa, things like turmeric or black pepper, garlic, herbs and spices. Readily available, these compounds act as molecular regulators. They are not just antioxidants. Then we have the Mediterranean style diet, which is not just a superfood. It is a combination of various different types of foods. The Mediterranean dietary pattern is rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, whole grains, olive oil, and fish. And it consistently reduces the high sensitivity C-reactive proteins, reduces interleukin 6 enzyme, and also reduces the cardiovascular risk factors. So recent data reinforces that dietary patterns outperform single nutrients. So the combination of foods together, like that in Mediterranean diet, helps you to eat a healthy diet that is anti-inflammatory and sustains your health. So consistency matters more than perfection. So which are some of the foods that drive the inflammation that worsens your health? Evidence consistently links high inflammation to 1. Ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, the sodas, the juices, the processed juices, refined carbohydrates, the trans fats, and also the extra processed meat. These promote blood sugar spikes, oxidative stress, gut dysbiosis, visceral fat accumulation, and also they have a big role in dietary damage. And the inflammation is cumulative. So the more you take them, the more you increase your inflammation. So let's look at the anti-inflammatory plate. Keep it simple. Half of your plate is vegetables or leafy greens. A quarter of it is proteins. This could be fish, could be legumes, or it could be eggs. A quarter of it is whole grains. Add the healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. Remember to include things like beans or lentils, a source of omega-3, the herbs and spices. Reduce the ultra-processed foods gradually. There are no expensive supplements required. Whole food consistency wins. Your plate is your medicine. Shift your thinking and stop asking, what diet is trending? Do not go by the trends. Look for these anti-inflammatory foods and start asking, is this food reducing or fueling inflammation in my body? Every bite dampens inflammation or it amplifies it. Where do you want to be? Protection accumulates. One simple meal taken consistently, and so does the damage. Using ultra-processed food consistently, continuous damage to your inflammatory process. Chronic inflammation is silent, but it is not unstoppable. Your daily food choices regulate the inflammatory pathways more than people realize. Feed and feed for protection. Starve harm. If this changes how you see your food, comment anti-inflammatory. Go for these anti-inflammatory foods and like, subscribe, and share with someone who is battling fatigue, metabolic issues, and even chronic health concerns. Let's build health at the cellular level. The way to go is the anti-inflammatory foods taken consistently, becoming your lifestyle. Build a system that will maintain your anti-inflammatory food long term. Make eating the pro-inflammatory foods more difficult. Do not stock them in your house. Follow the Overall Health YouTube channel for more tips on how to stay healthy. If this has resonated with you, share it within your circle. And if you want guidance on how to stick and sustain these anti-inflammatory foods consistently, subscribe to the Health Insight 360 program. We will give you personalized coaching that will help you overcome eating and using the pro-inflammatory foods for more health and happier life. Thank you for watching. We meet in the next video.